Welcome to the Invisible Agent Podcast, the show for insurance agents ready to go from unknown to unstoppable, where visibility, strategy, and real-world execution meet. Hosted by Dave Cheatham and Mike Sorensen.
Welcome to the Invisible Agent Podcast, where we're teaching you, business owners, how to go from unknown to unstoppable in your Medicare insurance business. What we are going to be covering actually today is why bad coaching is preventing you from growing your business. My name is Mike Sorensen, and here is where we're going to get started. Is your business right now feel like a boat that is lost at sea? Drifting in the middle of the ocean, you have no compass, the wind has died, your sales may not be working properly, and you don't know which direction to go. To be honest, if you are in this situation, this is how you feel. The truth is, you needed a lot better coaching before you even decided to take off in your journey. So in today's episode, we're actually going to break down really 4 things that you must know to actually gain the clarity needed for you to get in business and then also grow a successful business as well, actually start to grow. And by the end of this episode, what we're really gonna be sharing with you is you'll know exactly what to gain that clarity to finally move and start your business when it comes to getting into Medicare and actually how to move it forward. We're actually gonna start by going over a little story. I always like going over a little story to kind of give you a idea of this actually working in real life scenarios. So the story I'm going to start with actually is going to be because it's way too good to share. So if you're an NFL fan or you're a sports fan, I do a lot of kind of touch points to sports because that's the background I came from. So if you're a sports fan, you'll appreciate this one. There was a player back in 2018 that was drafted 3rd overall. His name was Sam Darnold, which you may know. He got drafted the New York Jets, which was a tire fire of an organization. But he was written off extremely early in his career because he did not have success right away. If you're a 3rd overall pick, you need to have success like pretty much right away in a lot of organizations. Otherwise, they're consider you a bust. So a lot of people said, you know what, this guy's a bust from even the first year he was in because everything was pretty much going wrong for him. So his story was pretty much the same as a lot of like 1st round picks I got drafted in a bad organization with bad coaches, which was there was bad systems in place. There was bad coaching. There was really bad development. So they had QB coaches, they had coaches on staff, but they just had really bad development, and they played the blame game a lot. Whether it was the coach's fault, it was the player's fault, it's the organization's fault, it's the owner's fault. A lot of blame was being thrown around. But if we've seen over the past few years, if you follow football, you've seen when he actually got the right coach, he looks like an entirely different player. I mean, he looks like a 1st round draft pick. I mean, he was 3rd overall, 1st round. He looks like the 1st round draft pick he actually was because he got the right coaching. His mechanisms improved. The confidence came back. He started getting a little more better with his decision making because obviously when you're getting clear direction and clear coaching, it's a lot easier to make decisions when you're following a person who's done this before and it's got a really sharp and clear image of it. And now he's not really the problem anymore. He's actually like looking to be like somewhat of an MVP candidate during this year. So this is just, I tell the story, and I really like the Sam Darnold one. There's actually a good quote by Bill Belichick, also a former NFL coach. It was a great quote. It says, great talent cannot overcome bad coaching. So if you're just getting bad direction, you're getting put in bad situations, bad systems because of coaching, great talent, potentially could, but good talent really can't overcome that coaching. So for you and your business right now, if you are talented, you feel like you can do this business, really start to evaluate the situation you're in when it comes to getting coaching, because you could be as talented as like Sam Darnold in the insurance space, right? But if you are just in a bad situation, bad coaching, bad culture, it is extremely hard to overcome that by yourself to be able to do so. So you have to put yourself in a different situation. So the same thing applies to your business. You're not broken. You don't need us to pretty much reinvent yourself and become a new you. You actually need to lean more into yourself, in my opinion. And you just need better coaching. You need clear guidance and a better proven system than what you're currently in right now. So that leads me to point number 1. Most business owners, at least that I've observed and worked with over the past 6 years, they will try to jump to a different guru to a different like hack, or just to a different strategy before they will give enough time to the one they are currently in. And there was a great quote by someone who's I look up to, not really in the insurance space, but just in like business in general, that said, you will often see a 20% decrease in performance every time you make a change or you make a switch. So for anyone who's watching this right now, if you are trying to make changes in your business right now, know at least you're going to see at least a 20% dip in the performance measures you're currently measuring right now when you make a change. Because ultimately, that's going to be either um, learning new scripts, if that's trying to refine marketing, if that's going to refine messaging, maybe it's finding a new avatar, maybe it's a whole different marketing channel in general, or just an entirely different strategy or market. Whatever change you're making, you will see at least a decrease in 20% in the performance of your team. If you do not touch anything, or if you listen to one person and you have one clear direction, one clear coach, one clear vision, over time, you will get better. If you do not touch anything, you will get better at what you are doing. I'll give you a really good example of even just myself personally. We've actually been obviously looking for new business owners to work with, and we have one strategy right now to bring in business owners to actually work with, partner with, and work with them on like in contracts. And at the very beginning, when I started working with these, I guess we say leads coming through, I had to refine my messaging over and over again to find a script that actually worked when I got them on the phone and to lead to appointments, which would lead to them moving over. At the very beginning, I wasn't very efficient in that time. So for me, over the course of the next month or so, I got very good to the point where if I got somebody on the phone, they were going to work with us. And that is because we believed in the vision which we were going. And over months and months and months of doing the same thing, I actually just got super good at what I did. Instead of saying within the first month, oh, these aren't converting as well as we like, maybe we should find something else to do. No, we just stick with the same strategy. And the more people I talk to, the more people I'm going to learn from, more people I'm going to craft my message and just find a better way to do things. That's like my own personal situation. So when you're jumping from different thing to different thing, remember, you are just decreasing the efficiency of your business every time you make a change. If you do find one that's maybe not as efficient as you like, maybe just put more time and effort into it to making it better, and you'll see your efficiency over time will actually continue to increase the more you actually do it. Because the more people you listen to, it just becomes noise. If you bring in other parties to, maybe get opinions on your business, or you just going to different mentors, going to different gurus, at the end of the day, it's all just noise. I can kind of relate it to white noise, essentially, is it is just there. You're not really listening to it, but it's just there. And when I say you're not really listening to it, and when will go out and seek advice, I will listen, I will then learn, and then I will implement. For a lot of us, white noise is not something we actually listen to or learn or try to implement. We just listen to it without actually changing any decision making in our whole process. So it is essentially when you're listening to a bunch of different mentors and a bunch of different coaches on what you should do, but you never actually do anything about it, that is just as bad as just continually to change different things and not work on it. Um, when you try to follow everyone's direction and everyone's advice, you're gonna be drifting essentially, like you were in an ocean. Like from my original analogy at the beginning, like you will essentially just be drifting because you are taking in so much advice and so much things that are going on that you're gonna be maybe making changes, and essentially you're gonna lose the identity of where you're actually trying to go, or maybe lose the direction you're actually trying to go because you're listening to so many people. Actually, a good reference to this is actually a business owner that I was looking to work with actually earlier this year. Is a gentleman that lives here in the Midwest, and since I actually met him at Medicarians this past year, since I've known him, he's changed what he was supposed to do in his business at least 7 or 8 times. I've confirmed at least seven, maybe even 8 times. He's changed what direction he's trying to go with in his business. I met him back in April, and at least 7 times he's changed his direction or something he's doing in his business. That many times. I mean, at least in our business, we take a big swing at something once, maybe a year, maybe twice. But for a small business owner that's in the Medicare space, who's just a solo entrepreneur, to be making that many adjustments it's not sustainable. And the reason being, I mean, we were just messaging back and forth, I think this past week. this is going to be his last AEP because you can't do the business anymore. And I agree, you cannot do the business if you're changing that frequently. It is not sustainable for any big business or even small business, or if you're a solo Medicare insurance business owner, like you just cannot sustain it. The real growth, and it's the same thing I said to him, the real growth will happen when you look at your strengths, look at your weaknesses, look at what you enjoy doing, find a way to bring on clients that align with those three things, pin it to the wall, and do it for 8 to 12 months. Because your first month, maybe two, might not be as efficient as you want, but you will continue to see yourself getting better, refining your message, making tweaks, adding volume to see what breaks, adding more volume to see what you're really good at and see what you're not good at, and continue to make it a little bit better. You will, even with a strategy at the very beginning that wasn't very good, over time, if you continue to craft and make it better, you will have an efficient marketing system to bring in clients in 8 to 12 months, but no one gives it enough time for it actually to bake. You can't make a pot roast in 25 minutes. You got to let that baby cook for hours and hours and hours. And I think a lot of agents are, a great analogy here is a lot of agents are trying to microwave these big beasts of food when instead you just need to put this puppy in a slow roaster and slow cook this thing over months and months and months, or hours and hours and hours. When we're using the pot roast analogy, we can't microwave these huge things instantly just to start getting results out of. And then if it doesn't work, switch to another thing. We got to slow roast a lot of these systems, a lot of these marketing strategies, a lot of these different ways we bring on clients or even retain clients. We have to give them time to cook, because ultimately a lot of these strategies probably will work. We're just not giving them enough time. And they will work because you will learn what works. You will learn what does not work, and then you will just make it better. That is the real key to growing, is doing the same thing over and over and over and over again until you get bored of it. And then that's when the work will really start, is when you show up and you're not excited about it anymore. But guess what? Your client, your prospects, your customers that you're looking to take on, they don't know the difference. They're probably seeing this for the very first time and they're getting excited about what you have to offer, but you may be bored of it. You just want to change it just because you're bored of it, which ultimately it's just going to decrease the performance of whatever you're trying to do. It's about being focused in the moment of what you're doing and trying to get on the most clients as possible and doing it in the most efficient way as possible. And that just happens by doing more and figuring out what works better over time and making those tweaks. So that's my number one, is stop following everyone, because you'll more likely not follow anybody. No. Learn from a coach who has actually done it. So back to that Sam Darnold analogy, when he was with his first two teams, the Jets, when he was with, then he went to the Panthers, the coaching staff he had was new, for one, inexperienced, for two, and probably didn't do the job that he had beforehand. But when he went to the Niners, he went to a gentleman named Kyle Shanahan, who was a proven coach that actually worked with a Super Bowl quarterback, Matt Ryan, didn't win the Super Bowl, but worked with them, ran that offense when they went to the Super Bowl, actually gave him coaching advice to kind of help him a little bit. Again, this was the start. He was mostly a backup when he was with San Francisco, but where things really freaking clicked for him, when things really became online, is when he went to Minnesota. And we all saw that. If you're a football fan, you all saw that. His head coach was Kevin O'Connell, which was a former NFL quarterback who backed up Tom Brady. Number two is Josh McCown, who played for 15 different teams all across the NFL and was a great backup in the NFL. And it was a really good coach to NFL quarterbacks who were actually starting. Those are two people who've done this before. That, yes, were they as successful as like a Tom Brady? Were they as successful as like a Peyton Manning? No, but they got to the NFL and they got to work with lots of quarterbacks over a long period of time, because they had both, 10 plus long NFL careers, that these people didn't have to be the very best in the position. They just had to be obsessed with the game. And when it came to Sam Darnold going to Minnesota, he worked with two people that were just obsessed about the offense and obsessed about playing quarterback, that they gave them their insight and the coaching because they've done it before. They went on that field and tried to throw the ball to wide receivers when defenders were trying to knock it down. They saw it tons of different defenses over tons of different years. So they knew how to coach them in real time, and also off field when they actually looked at film and break down everything. That is someone who you want, who's actually been in your shoes, made the mistakes, solved these problems, and tried to do the thing that you're doing. Now, like I said, the best producers sometimes, so when you work with somebody and they said, I've sold hundreds and hundreds of applications, I have thousands and thousands of clients, that is good. So now you know they can do the job. But that doesn't always mean they can do the job of training and coaching you. I'll give you a great example. Again, another NFL one. Mike Singletary, which was probably one of the best linebackers, arguably ever, that came from the Bears defense of 85. Again, one of the best linebackers probably ever, but was not a good head coach, was just not a good coach, wasn't good at coaching. 18-22 record like ever as a head coach. So the translation from great player to great coach isn't always the same thing. Same thing with like your best producers, your best salespeople don't always become your best managers. Sometimes they're just killers who just want to go out and make sales. They don't want to manage people. And they kind of get put in that like trajectory of like, since you're a great producer, you should go to become a great manager. Not always the same. Same thing with great players don't always become great coaches. Just is what it is. So when you're actually looking at a coach or someone who maybe it's a new upline, maybe it's a new FMO, I think a standard is to make sure they've done the job that you've done before. If they've not done the job that that they've done before, they need to be completely obsessed about the process and looked at what you do from every angle, maybe angles you haven't even looked at before I would even consider maybe making that leap. Because I wouldn't take advice for someone that what I do right now, I would not take advice from someone who's never done it before. But someone who's obsessed, maybe there'd be a shot. A great example of someone who, can be less skilled, but be obsessed with what they do is a guy like Doug Peterson. Brett Favre's pretty much almost lifetime backup. Doug Peterson was a very not skilled player. I mean, he obviously got to the NFL, but was pretty much a lifelong backup, didn't get a whole lot of playing time, but became a head coach and won a Super Bowl with the Eagles. Like, that is a great example of not being maybe the best player, but damn, being obsessed with the game and being obsessed with how to coach and be obsessed with helping players that can result and translate into making a great team. Because when he won the Super Bowl, he had Nick Foles, not a great quarterback. In that moment, he was great, but not a great quarterback, but coached and made strategy that made the whole team rise. That is the best case scenario. And last point of this one from Learn From Somebody is, if they haven't done it, they probably can't teach it. So when I said, if you're not going to work with someone who's done what you've done before, at least to have them be obsessed with what you do, there's still a line between I've done it so I can teach it. And for me, myself, at a minimum, I don't talk about things that I've never done. I do not talk about things that I do not know. And I also do not talk about things that I have not at least witnessed with my own eyes when it comes to working with Medicare insurance businesses. Because when I craft messages or I coach in real time, I'm talking to people about things that I've personally done, witnessed, and seen in this industry that I know work or that I know do not work. I will not speak upon things that go beyond my understanding because that's just bad advice and bad guidance. But from a coaching perspective, if your coach doesn't know things that you're bringing up to them, there's two choices. They can reference you to somebody who does, or they can go learn the thing that you're asking about and get back to you. Like, those are the two options. If they're just not going to do anything, find a way to get your answers. Again, for me myself, if I don't know something and I'm not willing to learn it, I will at least reference to somebody or something that does. Good point there. Number 3 that I'm going to talk about is decide, and what deciding actually means. Because a lot of us make choices, but not a whole lot of us decide. Choosing is the moment. Deciding is everything that leads up to that moment. It's the evaluating. It's the weighing multiple options. It's looking at what the consequences are if you choose one option versus the other. When you choose something, that is just the moment where you just pick something between several different options. Deciding is all the evaluation all the way up until that point. And the root word of decide literally means to cut off. So for you who is looking to maybe make a decision in your life, or it could be literally about anything, you should spend a considerable amount of time weighing out those options, looking at the consequences, see which one's going to benefit you the most, then choose. But when you choose something, ultimately decide that that is the option you're going with and cut off any other option besides that. Because what a lot of people tend to do is when you decide to make a decision, you don't really decide. You are essentially choosing an option that may or may not pan out. And it's ultimately, you're going to be coming with a lot of excuses. You're going to be coming with a lot of distractions, maybe, and it may come with some indecision on the back end. So when you decide to make a decision, again, maybe to grow, when you say, I am today deciding to grow, that means you are cutting off any excuses, any distractions. So that means people coming to you with other ways things can work, or maybe it's a new marketing event, or maybe it's a new strategy, maybe it's a new, you know, you know, insert new fun, sexy thing that can help your business. It's cutting that off. And it's also cutting off any other indecision in your business for you to just focus on one thing that you made that decision on. This is a mindset thing, but it's really to detach others from your decision. So if you decide I'm going to work with X lead vendor, it's not X lead vendor's fault if these leads don't work, these leads don't pan out. You made the decision. You made all the weighing out all the options, looking at the consequences. You did all that deciding up front and not making a willy-nilly decision. So if that doesn't pan out, that's not their fault. That is us. That's owning the responsibility of where we're taking our business based on the information that we were given, right? After any win or any failure, once you start to decide, you will start analyzing your decisions a hell of a lot closer, because a lot of businesses that I've seen, they make a lot of choices, but they don't make a lot of decisions. They'll just like, oh, they've got this brand new concierge lead vendor system. Oh, I'll try that out. Yeah, I'll do that. But that ultimately, when you do that, they're also bringing the same excuses and distractions afterwards if it doesn't work out. Oh, I put all my money into this marketing vendor, and they didn't do what they said they were supposed to do for us. Well, did you do enough on the front end to understand if that was even going to be best for you? Or did you just make a willing, you made a decision, but you're also bringing all the baggage with it. Making a decision is going full force with something you're choosing to do and cutting off all the baggage on the back end that it may come with, and you owning that, right? But that happens with any failure, or it also happens with any win, right? If we make a decision that maybe that vendor now, sparks fire and things work out correctly, like that's also us too. We own those results. We're not passing those off to other people. We are owning those results. So if your business right now is struggling, you're just getting bad coaching right now, stop looking at it as a choice and start looking at it as a decision. And there's a lot more that goes into making a decision than making a choice. And ultimately, it could be everything for your business. Last thing is number 4, accountability is on you. It's not on the coach. It's not on the market. It's not on the people around you. Because ultimately, a coach can guide you, but they cannot move your legs for you. And this is something we talk about inside our organization a ton, is we will put as much time in the business as you do. And for some of you may hear that and be like, well, that kind of doesn't sound very fair. It's actually the most fair, because when we're working with clients, if we sit on a one-on-one call for 30 minutes and we talk about some strategy that we're going forward to try to implement and do, and in a week when we come on that call, if you didn't get anything of that stuff done, why should I give you 30 or 40 more minutes of my time to just re-explain the same thing you were supposed to do when you didn't get it done? That is a lack of priorities on your end, or maybe lack of discipline on your end, that shouldn't fall onto the coach, because ultimately you're not accountable for yourself. That's also, this leads back to the decide part. If you decide to grow, or you decide to work with a coach, or maybe work with someone like us, understand that this is a two-way street. You've got to put the time and effort in, and so do we, and we'll back it up. We're going to be there for you when you start growing your business to help you, but you have to help you as well. And that starts with you got to get up and you have to take responsibility for your actions. Everything that we do and everything that we teach, there is a rhyme and a reason as to why we do it. For you, we are going to understand how you operate and what makes you, what, and kind of embrace your skills, your talents, your experiences to create something customized for you so you can ultimately enjoy growing your business, enjoy just doing the business, and be successful by doing so. The only thing that we do not control, we cannot control consistency because you are the person whose actions require consistency to happen. So if you are not consistent, everything we talk about, everything we try to implement is for naught. Make sure when you're working, if it's us or if it's anybody, make sure you are willing to put the time and effort in to grow your business and do what you guys agree. If that's a collaborative process or if it's a coach is telling you what to do, agree that you will get those things done because in order for you to grow, those things will need to be done. And if you're not one doing them and you're not being consistent with them, it's a waste of time. It's a waste of money. And lastly is the results. Own the results. Whether they are good, whether they are bad, it is not the coach's fault. It is not the lead vendor's fault. It is not anyone else's fault. You made the decision to work with that coach. You made the decision to work with that lead vendor. The results are on you. And I'm not talking all this from a bad perspective. Like there are a lot of agents, the ones that we work with, that they have extremely good results. And guess what? I'm not going to take any part of it. Like we're here to celebrate you. We're here to celebrate your wins. We're here to celebrate your business. So when we throw our big events and we recognize agents, we're not saying, hey, the only reason they wrote this many apps or they did this well is because of us. Like that's super unfair because you as a business owner, if we're telling you to own the results, whether good or bad, why should we take that away from you? We don't want to take it away from you. We want to put the light on you and make you shine instead of taking the light away from you and put it on us. Be like, hey, we were the ones who did that for you when we really want to be behind the curtain at your show. When you're front and center on stage doing your thing, we want to be behind the curtain. We don't want the glorification from your Medicare beneficiary clients that are working with you because ultimately that's not our avatar. We don't want to be working with Medicare beneficiaries. We want to work with other agents. So when you're showing like how great you did, take that, own that, take that with you. We don't want any part of that. We want to put the light on you and make you shine like a superstar that you are. My last point is when you stop blaming the world and blaming the market you're in, blame this situation you are currently in, and you start owning what you are doing, that mindset shift is exponential because like I said before, you start looking at every decision you make in your business with a fine-tooth comb and really understanding, is this something worth doing? And if it is worth doing, I will be all in on this one thing and take it to the ceiling because if not, I am just wasting my own time. I am wasting my own money and energy because unless you have unlimited, uncapped dollar amounts, even Elon Musk has limited resources. I mean, he's got a lot of resources, but even him has limited resources. No one has unlimited money. No one has unlimited time. No one has unlimited energy. So when you start looking at this from a growth perspective, especially when you start looking at business as where you're going to spend your time, energy, and money, and you start analyzing how you're going to do that more effectively by deciding on what you're going to do and going all in with that, you'll make far less decisions, but they will be extremely high quality and will give you so much more return on your business than making 1,000 small, maybe less impactful decisions that are going to be taking away. They're going to make you like a Stretch Armstrong where you're just going to feel like you're just getting pulled in every direction. And it's very hard to grow at that point because you are only one person. You have the same 24 hours everybody else does. You more likely have a family and maybe if you have kids, maybe you got dogs, maybe you just have other passions outside the business and that's okay. Just know with that time allotted, we have to be highly effective on what we do, decide what we do, and go all in with what we do. All right. So if I'm going to be looking at coaching in 2026, make sure we pick one coach. Make sure we pick a coach who has done it and been absolutely obsessed with it. Once we find that coach and we decide to go with them, it's a decision. And we put the results of this coaching, of the results of where your business is going now, you own them, whether good or bad, you own them. And the last is number 4, a coach can help you be accountable, but they cannot do it for you. You're going to have to learn to own your own accountability and make sure that you get up every day to put in the work that you and the coach agree you needed that needs to get done. 2, be consistent with it. And 3, when it happens really well, you own it, not anybody else. Because if you do these things, I promise you'll be in a better position this time next year if you just find a coach that can do these things for you. Because ultimately, it changed my life by doing these exact same things, finding one coach, listening to him, and doing the same things for about 8 to 12 months. That changed my life to the point where I'm doing bigger and better things because of it. And it can do the same thing for you. This podcast and this kind of show we do is we're trying to teach agents like yourself to how to go from unknown to unstoppable. And every single episode we do, every single topic we talk about is just a baby step for you to get there. And this is just like you getting coaching from us in real time. The things that we talk about, take a piece of it, take maybe a couple pieces of it, and start figuring a way how to implement it. Because I promise you, if you do, things will get better for you. Things will get potentially easier for you. But these are very simple things to kind of start implementing. Because ultimately, our goal of this podcast, this show, is to help you grow, to in real time, in real life, go from unknown to unstoppable in your business. And we don't do any paid marketing to try to promote this podcast. The only way this podcast will literally grow is if you find value in this, you share it with other people in your space to say like, hey, like I got a cool like tidbits from this podcast. You should listen to it because it's all about Medicare insurance business owners. And that's how this will grow. So if this has helped you and you think this is valuable, send it to another insurance business that you know who's ready to go from unknown to unstoppable. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.
We do not do any paid marketing to promote this podcast. It only grows if you find value in this and share it. Keep following as we show insurance business owners how to go from unknown to unstoppable. Thank you for listening, and we will see you next week.